Hmm. Recent research shows that sound change, pronunciation shift in a language is not gradual. New sounds often emerge suddenly. This confounds the classical account of sound change, whose central tenet is gradualness. Since this classical account must be discarded, sound change theory in general must also be. So the conclusion is that um, sound change theory must be discarded.
Yes. And why are we saying that?
We're saying that because, um, first of all, recent research shows that sound change is not gradual, that emerges suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
But what does
and
research do? I'm sorry,
research,
it shows this, but what is this research then related to?
it confounds the classical account of sound change.
So what does that have anything to do with sound change theory?
Um, that since this classical account,
Essentially what we're saying here is our research confounds with the classical account of sound change. So we must discard it, and we must discard sound change theory in general.
so it's the assumption it's making that sound change theory cannot stand on its own without classical account.
Excellent.
Okay. So which one's following? Okay, so A, the data on which the classical account of sound change theory was based are now known to be inaccurate. No, not A. The emergence of new sounds appears to be random. The meaning of linguistically disparate. D.
Yeah, all theories of sound change rely heavily on classical theory, because that's what we're assuming. We're saying, like, if our conclusion is saying, like, hey, if we can't have classical, then we can't have sound change.
Mm-hmm.
And this one says sound change, to have sound change, you must have classical. Excellent.
So for my question for you, and like we do these, do you ever diagram stuff out? Like, are you really thinking about the nitty gritty, like sufficient, necessary, or are you more looking at it like
I
on
do on these ones, here, like, this is, I don't over diagram, but I do think about sufficient and necessary. But I think people get a lot of questions wrong because they do over diagram.